Hi friends, welcome to another episode of eSolutions for UGC Net English. Now I am going to talk about structuralism, the most frightening theory for most of the literature students. But from my opinion, it's not that much difficult to learn a theory. As a literature student, we have a lot of works to study like this theory, criticism, then drama, poetry, novel, short story and all these works. And when we compare these theories with those novels, we know that in novels, it has a lot of characters and of course it has a complex plot structure and sometimes it may be very difficult to understand. But in the case of this theories, once you understand these basic ideas of a theory, then it's very easy to learn the further details of that theory. And we have a lot of theories like this: structuralism, post-structuralism, post-colonialism, colonialism, then feminism, ecofeminism, then Marxism, a lot of theories. And so many writers were published their works regarding these theories. And what we do is we try to read all those works in order to understand these theories. But unfortunately, those writers, they always try to expand or explore those theories. They never give us this basic idea of a theory. So the first thing you have to do is just understand this basic ideas of a theory. Okay. So coming to our point, structuralism. Before going to analyze this structuralism, you have to understand what this structure means. Okay. Just look at this world. This world itself has a structure. Then solar system, it has a structure. Then our society has a structure. Religion has a structure. Then our family, it has a structure. Even the language that we use in our daily life, it has a structure, like how to produce some sounds or how to use these words and all these things. So this is the basic idea of structuralism. To understand this importance of structuralism, you have to understand the situation of literature or reading a literary piece in pre-1920s and post-1920s. In pre-1920 period, they considered a particular work or a text as a physical object. That is, they considered this work as a closed entity. Closed entity means they never give the right to interpret a text to these readers. Okay, these readers were always forced to read from the perspective of this writer itself. And when it comes to the post 1920s, they considered this text as a linguistic construct. So now it's an open entity, and these readers, they get the right to interpret a text. And this interpretation that works on the idea of hermeneutics of interpretations. That is, a text may have more than one interpretation. That is the hermeneutics of interpretations. Okay. So we know that this interpretation of a text, it depends upon the reader's emotions and feelings. I can interpret a text from my own perspective, but some other persons, they try to interpret that text according to their feelings and their emotions. So a text may get more than one interpretations here. And I already told you in the previous video, this structuralism is an expansion of new criticism. And this new critics, they never give any importance to the external features of a text or to the external features of the author. They always focused on the text itself. They believed that these words on this text, it matters. They believed that, and they focused on the style of writing, then the use of characters and all these things. And here in structuralism also, they give importance to the words and words on the particular text and the meaning of those words and all these things. And to understand about this theory, we have to know about Ferdinand de Saussure. And he was a Sanskrit scholar and of course this theorist. And he tried to study about language. He tried to study about these words and all these things, and he gave more importance to the synchronic study of a language, which means we can study about a word in a particular context in a short period of time. That is synchronic study of a word in a particular period of time. And there is another method, that is diachronic study. It is a kind of historical study, like how to originate this word and how to get its meaning and how this word get into use and all these things, like a historical study. And in the case of structuralism, they give more importance to the synchronic study of language. And this Ferdinand de Saussure and his work that is published in 1916, which is a course in general linguistics, it becomes a milestone in the history of structuralism. Okay, so this Ferdinand de Saussure, he is now known as the father of modern linguistics, and he introduced some terms into this theory of structuralism, like langue, parole, signifier, signified, and sign. Then of course this synchronic study and diachronic study. Then okay, so coming to the first one, langue and parole. It's a division of language. You know, this langue is the language or a set of rules to use language, or the grammatical language. It's langue. We know that in grammar or in grammatical way, there has some structures, how to produce a word or how to produce a sentence, how to use a sentence in a grammatical way, and all these things. So this is called langue, and this parole is the day-to-day life conversations. That is the language that we use in our usual life. That is parole. And another thing is signifier, signified, and sign. Just think of a bat. Once you hear this word bat, you get an image in your mind. This is sign, that is signifier and signified combined to form sign. So what is signifier and signified? This signifier is the name or the word that used to introduce something, or that one word that we use it to mention something. Here this word bat, this word bat itself is the signifier, and the image or the thing bat, it is the signified, and together this combined to form this sign. And another example, cow. This name cow is the signifier, and the animal cow is the signified, and together this the sign cow. That is when we hear this word cow, we have the image of cow in our mind. So this is sign. And another thing is, Ferdinand de Saussure introduced this idea of the relation between these words and the relation between the meanings of words. And he stated that every word is in relation with other words. And of course, the meaning of every word is depend upon the meaning of other words. This is his idea. And he says that this meaning of a word, it is the result of being able to understand the difference between these words. For example, we have these words like bat, mat, cat. When we hear this name, there is a slight difference. The pronunciation is same, but there is a slight difference. And this meaning, or this, when we hear this name cat, we got an image of cat in our mind. And this is because of being able to understand the difference. That is, understand the difference between bat and mat, or cat and mat. Once you fail to understand this difference, you may fail to understand this meaning also. and this is his idea. Another thing is the relation between this word and its meaning. He says that there is no real connection between this word and its meaning, or there is no natural connection. Just imagine this word cat and the animal cat. There is no real connections between this four-legged furry animal with a tail and this word cat. And he says that they get, or this words get its meaning through the repeated use, and it's the truth. So these are the main things that you have to understand about this theories. This structuralism. Okay. The first thing is langue and parole. That is, there is two types of language. One is grammatical language and other one is this day-to-day language, or this usual language that we use it in our daily life. And another thing is about the signifier, signified and sign. The relation between signifier and signified and how they form this sign. And another thing we have to understand is synchronic study and diachronic study of language. And of course, the other thing that we have to understand about this theory is they try to convey this idea that these words are in relation with other words, and of course this meaning of each word is in relation with relation with the meanings of other words. Then another thing is these meanings are the result of being able to understand the difference between these words. And these meanings and words, there is no real connection or no natural connection between these two. So these are the basic ideas of structuralism, and of course they give more importance to the words on a particular text during the reading of a particular work, and they never give more importance to the writer, or they never give importance to the perspectives of that particular writer. So this is about structuralism.